So today I'm going to tell you why I stopped using Les Pauls and switched entirely to the 335. Hey everybody, Jamie Holroyd here helping you learn jazz guitar. Welcome to the channel. In today's video I'm going to explain my history. I started using 335s and Les Paul and I've owned several over the years, but now I don't have any Les Pauls and I'm only using a 335. Let's begin by talking about my history with each of these guitars. So I had wanted a 335 for as long as what I can remember. One day I was searching listings online and I saw a Yamaha SA2000 for sale about 2 hours from where I lived. So for me, I was already a fan of those early Yamaha jazz guitars. Subscribers of this channel will have seen that I've done numerous videos on these, and at that time I already owned the AE1200, so the SA2000. I was pretty sure that that was going to be a good guitar, and much as I predicted, I got there, picked up the guitar, started playing it, really liked it. That was my first 335 guitar. So about 18 months after I bought the 335, I was looking at listings online again and I saw a Yamaha Les Paul, an early 80s Yamaha Lord Player, which was around 90 minutes, 2 hours from where I lived, and obviously with my proven track record of buying Yamaha guitars, I decided to go and try it, and surprise, surprise, I ended up buying that as well. Now, I actually had a reason for buying that. At the time, I was playing a few gigs and I didn't really have a rock guitar and I needed a heavier sound for those gigs. Plus, I'd been watching videos of jazz players like George Benson playing a Les Paul, and obviously Pat Martino used a Les Paul for a period in his career, and the great guitar player Clint Strong also used a Les Paul, and they were all getting really good jazz sounds. So I thought, okay, I've never owned a Les Paul before. It will be interesting to see what I can do with this. So I actually bought it mainly for some of the function work I was doing it at the time, but ironically ended up using that as a jazz guitar. So for a period of time I was using both the Yamaha 335 and the Yamaha Les Paul on various different gigs. Fast forward to more recent times, I had the opportunity to buy a really nice Gibson 335. So at one point I actually had two 335s and a Les Paul, and I really wasn't using all three. So I had to decide which one to keep and which ones to let go. So I ended up keeping a 335 and selling the Les Paul. So here's a few reasons why I came to that decision. The first reason why I decided to switch from Les Pauls to 335s was the weight. Now, I know that each guitar varies enormously from guitar to guitar in how much they weigh, but Les Pauls are known for being heavy guitars, and for me this was problematic because I like to use a strap when I play. There's certain chords which are much more accessible to me personally if I hold a guitar like that as opposed to like that. So I wanted to use a strap, and every time I used the Les Paul with strap, it just felt really heavy. Even after only 20 minutes or 30 minutes of practicing or using one on a gig, it felt very uncomfortable. So that was the first reason why I decided to sell the Les Paul and keep the 335. The second reason why I prefer using a 335 to a Les Paul is the body shape. I have never been able to get along with the body shape of the Les Paul. Whenever I've been using it sat down in a standard playing position, it's always felt too low and I've never really felt comfortable playing it. As I previously said, if I used a strap on the guitar, then it basically always felt too heavy. I could never really get comfortable playing it for longer periods of time. So the body shape of the 335 is definitely more preferable to me. It's a little bit bigger, which is maybe not ideal for some of you, but for me personally, it just sits on my lap a lot better and feels much more comfortable to play. There is obviously the Mickey Mouse design of the 335 body shape, which provides excellent access to the upper frets as well. So if you play beyond the 12th fret often, then I always find that the 335 gives you better access to the higher frets of the guitar. The final reason why I switched from a Les Paul to a 335 was the tone. Both of these guitars have very distinct tones that you might need depending on your preferences, but for me, mainly being a jazz player, the 335 was a better fit. I occasionally play with an overdrive sound and they are quite similar in some ways. I'm not saying that they sound the same, but you can get similar sounds. If you just need an overdrive sound, very rarely, as I often do, then it seemed pointless to have both a Les Paul and a 335 for that purpose. From a jazz perspective, then I do prefer the sound of the 335 as well, and at the time I was into a lot of 335 players. Players such as Kurt Rosenwinkel, Billy Rogers, Borelli LeGren, players like that all use 335s and they just kind of give me the extra push that I needed to sell the Les Paul. And since then, since I've sold it, I don't miss it, to be honest with you. It's a great guitar. I completely respect its kind of place in music history, and there are some wonderful players that get amazing tones, but for me, the 335 is where I'm at. So that concludes my thoughts on both guitars, but what I'd really like to know is, what do you think of the 335 and the Les Paul? Are you a 335 guy? Are you a Les Paul guy? Do you need both? Please let me know, because I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video and you want more content like this, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel.